This video is only for people who don't think that 5 years is a long time for you to change your life. As a matter of fact, I'm sharing with you today a blueprint of the plan I have for myself, and it is working for me so far. Let me make this clear in the beginning. This plan might not work for everyone, but it has principles which will be applicable to anyone's situation. Secondly, I think the details we mostly apply to people in the tech space, since this is the kind of experience I'm having at the moment, and it's making me to create this kind of plan for myself. Okay, with that said, let's get right into it. So this 5-year plan, I'm going to divide it into 4 different periods, and each of these periods has a peculiarity to it and what objective you want to achieve at each of these periods. So the first period is what I call, for the lack of better words, the eat shit period. I decided to use this word because I think this is the time that you have to get down to earth and do something and really work yourself in order to get you to the next period. This period is basically from minus X years to year 1. Why I say this is because as someone in the tech space, you can achieve the objective of this period in 1 year, but sometimes also it can take you more than 1 year to achieve the objective of this period. And the objective of this period is to become entry-level expert. That is, what you're gonna do is to pick a skill, any skill that you want, any skill that you think you can be good at, and learn about that skill. Learn. And this is why I call it the eat shit period, because this is a time you have to lock yourself up literally and work your butt off in order to learn the skills and be good at it. You have to learn to the extent that you are good at this skill so that you can be able to get a job, or you can be able to start your company or whatever you want to do in the next period. This period is the foundation for the next period that you're going into. So you are going to pick a skill, learn that skill, and be good at the skill. Other things you're going to do at this point is to build a portfolio. As you're learning the skill, you're making sure that you're building a portfolio that is going to be able to speak for you even when you're not there. I spoke about this in my previous video. You should go check it out. You should use platforms like LinkedIn, GitHub, and the likes. These are platforms you can use to build your own portfolio as an entry-level expert. And when you have your portfolio set, then you need to prospect. Prospecting is basically trying to look for the industry that you're going to go into, or you're going to look for a job that you're going into. And if you're the kind of person who wants to start a business, you prospect into that business that you want to go into. So basically, the objective of this first period, which I call the eat shit period, is getting good at something to the extent that you can start earning on that skill. And it's not going to be easy, and this is why I call it the eat shit period, because you're going to have to learn, you're going to have busy days and sleepless nights in order to be able to achieve this objective. Now, next period is what I call the gain XP period. And your objective for the gain XP period is basically to gain experience. And this is throughout your year 2. Understand that you are not free yet. At this point, you're just an entry-level expert. You have to become better at what you're doing now. Of course, you have gotten into entry-level job. This is the point where you work. You're going to have to outwork every other person that you know in that same level that you are. You're going to have to learn some more, because this time is a time for you to differentiate yourself from other people who are doing the same thing with you. And this is a time you will need to find balance in that industry. Why do I say this? I say this because maybe the industry you are starting in is not the best fit for you. Basically, you're working in a job that allows you to be able to test many things. And so you can find the best place for you to settle in. You can find the best kind of skill that is needed for you to actually advance in that career. So the objective for your gain XP period is basically gaining experience and finding balance in that industry that you're now in. Then let's move to the third period. The third period is what I call the 2X period. This 2X period is basically a strategy period. It's basically your year 3 and year 4. So the objective of this year 3 and year 4 is basically for you to times 2 your current income. You are going to have to move to a place that gives you 2x of your current income. And believe me, you're going to be able to find a place that gives you 2x of your current income, even with the same kind of job you're doing. Of course, if your current job is going to give you 2x, which I really doubt, if you are getting promoted on the current job, there is no way you can get a 2x in 2 years. But the only way you can do this is to change the job that you have before. You have to move into a new place. That is the only way that you can ask for a 2x income increase. And that is the only way you can go in this particular period. This particular period is mainly trying to balance the work you do and the income you're getting so that you are not under pressure anymore from this point. And at this point, you're going to have to contribute. You're going to have to work, and also you are going to have to show the worth of the work that you're doing. In your first 2 years, you're actually working your ass off. It doesn't matter how much they're paying you. You're working in order to get experience. But at this point, you're working for balance. You're working to contribute. You're working to become valuable to the company that you're working in right now. And this is basically your objective for the 2x period. And the final period, which is your 5th year, which is your 5th year, is what I call the settle period. This year, which is your 5th year, it's actually 5th year and beyond. It's not just the 5th year. At this point, now you have more freedom to choose because now you want to settle into that industry and you are trying to become a senior expert. After 4 years of experience, you are actually supposed to become a senior expert. So your aim at this point is to advance your career, but not under pressure. You're not under pressure like you are in the year 1, year 2, or year 3. You have to strategize in order to become full expert. And again, basically what you're doing here is choosing your next move wisely. And as you're doing this, you're building. You build connections, you build friendship, you build rapport with the people in the industry so that you become not just valuable to your company, but you become valuable to all the people around you. You become valuable to even an extended sphere of people in that industry. And then this is the point where you consolidate. You consolidate your experience, you consolidate what you're earning. And as a matter of fact, of course, you've been earning before, but you now have more freedom. You have more liberty to choose what you want to become. And of course, at this point, you should start mentoring because the wealth you have now, the wealth you're acquiring now is not just knowledge wealth. It's not just a monetary wealth, but it's a wealth of people that you can also contribute into. So from this point on, you can decide what you want to do. You have more liberty to live the kind of life you want to live. And so this is my 5-year plan for anyone who is interested in the tech industry and for you to be able to change your life for the better. Believe me, personally, I think the first year is the hardest because this is the year that you're actually plunging yourself into that area. You don't know anything yet, but you are kind of working your ass off in order to be able to get into the industry. And this is probably the hardest part. It can take more than 1 year for a lot of people, but I think for most of the skill that you need for entry-level jobs in the tech space right now, be it web development or full stack development or front-end development or back-end development or web app development or mobile app development, you can actually achieve this learning phase in your first year. And as long as you can do this in your first year, then you can move to the second period and move to the third period. I hope this plan is good enough for you. And if you think this is something good enough for you, please, I would like you to give a like to the video. You can also share and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel to grow. Thank you and see you in the next one.